many of you grew up like I did? Not rich. Now, I'm not theologically or philosophically shallow enough to tell you money will make you happy. Money will not make you happy. You get more money, it will make you more of what you are right now. If you are miserable and you get money, you will be lots of miserable. If you're a jerk and you get money, big jerk. And it'll mess with your family too. So money is not going to solve your problems. It's going to make them bigger. It's also going to make your opportunities bigger. If you're a generous person, your generosity will go into overdrive. You'll be outrageously generous. And you get a lot of money, we'll call you a philanthropist. Cool word that means you give a lot of it away and you have a blast doing it. You found the most fun you'll ever have with money when you find that. So we live in a cause and effect world. What you plant, you will harvest. You will reap what you sow, right? So if you plant stupid, you will get a crop of desperate. I've done it. And if you plant corn, don't be looking for beans to come up. Don't be shocked because what you put into your life is what you're going to get out. So we found that there's 5 things that if you do these 5 things with money, over a period of time, like 10 or 15 years, you will build a level of wealth 100% of the time. And now I said a level of wealth. I don't know what level because I can't predict car wrecks and cancer. I can't predict tragedy. And I don't know what your income will be. But if you're working and you do these 5 things, you will build a level of wealth 100% of the time. And this is not some prosperity thing, and it's not mystical or magical. When I cover these 5 things, they're all common sense. But common sense is so rare now, it's like having a superpower. So let's look at the 5. The first one is get on a budget. A written plan. You have to do a budget on paper, on purpose, before the month begins, every month. If you worked for a company called You Incorporated and you manage money for You Incorporated, the way you manage money for you now, would you fire you? Don't answer that. We misbehave with money, and so we're disorganized. We don't have a plan. Nothing's written down. Decide. The interesting thing about each one of these principles is you can just decide today to do them. I had a guy working for me, and he was not doing his process right, and I sat down, I said, this is what you need to do. And he goes, well, it's not the way I do it. And I said, change. And he said, well, I'm not like you. And I said, change. You can decide today to be good at this or leave. You can decide. You can decide to do a budget today. Get out a yellow pad or go free budget online, everydollar.com. You can decide today. I'm going to start managing money well today, because you're going to keep getting what you've been getting if you keep doing what you've been doing. You know this, right? Sowing and reaping. And the second one is you need to get out of debt. Now, we know this one. You knew Dave Ramsey was going to talk about getting out of debt because you know the Bible says the borrower is slave to the lender. It's real. Now, here's the deal. Think about this. Your most powerful wealth building tool is your income. Let me show you what slavery looks like. This week, they came out with new data that shows that the average car payment in America today, according to the National Auto Dealers Association, is $499. That's dangerously close to $500. You take $500 a month and invest it from age 30 to age 70 in a decent growth stock mutual fund, you'll have $5.6 million. That's what a car payment costs you. So who'd you make rich? General Motors, Ford, Lexus, I don't know, Toyota, who was it? You made somebody rich. It wasn't you. And you're driving along in something you can't afford, scratching your head and wondering why your kid's college fund isn't funded. Because we're giving it all to somebody else. And they have nicer furniture in their building, have you noticed? Something's going on here, guys. And some people in here got a student loan that's been around so long you think it's a pet. You got MasterCard in your life. I mean, it's hard to be a slave if you don't have a master, so you might as well. We've discovered bondage and American distress. It just keeps going and going. And I've done it too, y'all. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying, here's the deal. Think about this. What if you had no payments? Can't even get my head around that. Well, you're always going to have a car payment. I hear people say that. Little man can't get ahead. You're always going to have a car payment, so drive something nice. YOLO. Right? Which, by the way, is addressed in Proverbs. It says fool right after that. See, these are how we talk when we're losing. You can't get ahead. I sure hope we can elect a president who will fix my life. Not going to happen. Neither one of them got the goods, I'll just tell you. You're in charge of your life. It's the only one that's going to work. And that's what changes. So how do you get out of debt? Well, you have to decide to not borrow anymore. That's the first step, isn't it? We had plastic surgery at our house. Had a plastectomy. Decided we're not borrowing money anymore. MasterCard. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Money. You're weird, Dave. You're right. And I'm not broke anymore either. I decided I'm not living like this. I hadn't had a credit card in 30 years. You don't have a credit card? I don't have a credit card. That's my wallet. It's got green presidents' faces. And it's got 4 pieces of plastic in here, 2 debit cards, one on my business, one on my personal account, which will do everything your stupid credit card will do. I travel more than any 2 of you put together. Shut up. It works, okay? Dave, you're not getting airline miles. Yeah, I've met a lot of millionaires, and none of them said, Dave, I made it all on my airline miles. I hadn't heard that one, so I got my driver's license and my handgun carry permit. The third thing, once you're out of debt, then you need to be careful to foster high-quality relationships. What's that got to do with money? Everything. There's a huge correlation for those that build wealth and who they hang around with, because you become who you hang around with. Have you noticed that? You don't let your kids hang around with little juvenile delinquents, right? If little Johnny down the street's a weed head, you don't let your kid run with little Johnny because you know you're going to have a weed head in your house, right? We know this. So they come home with that mouth on them, and you're going, where'd you learn that? I'll get you knocked in the next week in this house. Where'd you think you could get away with that? I'll take you out and make another one look just like you. It's because they're hanging out with little Johnny, right? You know what happens. We're the same way, y'all. We're the same way. You talk like the people you hang around with. You read the books they talk about. If you don't read and all your friends watch The Bachelor, well, here's a clue. Okay, here's what's going on. If this is all you know about is reality TV that's not a reality, probably we need to change our diet, read a book. And so Charlie Tremendous Jones said 5 years from today, you'll be the same person you are today, except for the books you read and the people you meet. Don't be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits. And do you know this? The studies have shown that over a 10-year period of time that your income will become within 10 to 20% of the average of your 10 closest friends' income. Because you have the same habits they've got. You have the same diet into yourself that they've got. You'll have it. You can't stop yourself from doing it. You will become who you hang around with. And all the studies show